Hello, hello, hello. Good morning. It is Tuesday. If you tried to catch the live a little while ago, I am sorry about that. I am having a little bit of Wi-Fi difficulty today. So this is round 2. Let's try this again. Okay, so today I am continuing the conversation why the exercise you're doing isn't working to get rid of your pain. So today I am talking about exercises that are too hard or exercises that are too easy. You really want to find the Goldilocks of exercise. You don't want it too hard. You don't want it too easy. You want it just right. In order to get rid of your knee pain, you need your exercise to be just right. So your knee may still be in pain, because you're doing exercises that are too hard. We'll talk about too hard first. So while you're recovering from an injury or struggling with a non-injury related pain, not all exercises are created equal. And I find that many of my clients jump into things like squats and lunges because they're told they need to strengthen their quads and their glutes. Sure, that's probably right. You probably do, and probably more so the glutes than the quads. But squats and lunges are incredibly taxing on your knees, and they can cause and aggravate knee pain. The exercises you should choose should be challenging, yet not painful. I'll say that again. The exercises you choose should be challenging, not painful. So find the happy balance. You need it to be challenging enough, not painful. So you may need to adjust your exercise routine. Remove the painful exercises like squats or lunges if they're painful for you, and temporarily swap them out for something that doesn't hurt, yet is still challenging for the muscles. So sometimes I get asked, well, should I do squats? Should I do lunges? Should I do sit to stands from the chair? Should I get up and down from the floor? Should I do a walking program? Yes, 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 and yes. No, 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 and no. Why do I say it that way? A, I can't make that decision for you. I do help my clients and guide them to the right direction. So that's one reason why you should work with me, is because I can tell you which ones are likely to hurt and which ones are likely to not hurt. But I'm not you. I can't feel what you feel. I can anticipate which ones might be painful. But then again, I could be wrong. It could surprise me. And maybe squats don't cause you any problems. Maybe lunges don't cause you any problems. I don't know that. I can make my best educated guess, but I'm not you. Okay. So for example, going downstairs this morning, when I woke up first thing this morning, my knee was bothering me. My right knee was bothering me when I went down the stairs. Maybe that meant that I shouldn't run today. Running felt fine. Squatting felt fine. Lunges felt fine. But going down the stairs hurt. So when somebody says, should I do squats? Should I do lunges? Should I start a walking program? Should I start a running program? Yup. Try it out. See what happens. You want it to be challenging, and you aren't going to know that until you try it. Yet you don't want it to be painful. And again, you aren't going to know until you actually try it. You can anticipate that it may or may not be painful. You're not going to know for sure until you try it. So talking about exercises that are too hard, how would you know an exercise is too hard? Well, it's too much weight. You can't even do 1 repetition. So that would be too hard. They hurt while you're doing them. That could be an exercise that's too hard. It could also be an exercise you're doing wrong, which could also mean that it's too hard. That's another thing. If you're doing it wrong and you're compensating, then it could be too hard. One thing I see all the time, and it's one of my top exercises I like to tell people to do when they have knee pain, is to strengthen their hips, laying on their side, lifting their leg up and down, doing a sideline hip abduction exercise, laying on your side, straight leg raise, lifting up and down. That one's often too hard for people. And what they do is they roll their body back and forth. Their leg comes a little bit forward. So instead, I have them start with the clamshell. So you might remember a video I did a couple of weeks ago. The number one exercise I do for hip problems, I start people with, is the clamshell. And the reason I start with that one is because the next best one that I actually really love the most is usually too hard for people. And then they do it wrong or it hurts. What's another example of how I would know the exercise is too hard? If you're sore for longer than 2 days, yes, you may be sore after exercises. Your muscles need to get tired and they may get sore from that. You should not be sore for more than 2 days. Another reason that would let you know that the exercises are too hard is you're exhausted the rest of the day. You shouldn't be exhausted for the rest of the day from your workout routine. You should do 20 to 30 minutes of exercise, build up to that, but it shouldn't make you exhausted for the rest of the day. You shouldn't have to go and lay down for the rest of the day. You should still be able to do some light cleaning, some light activities. I mentioned it yesterday. Maybe you're not doing the vacuuming or the mopping, but you should be able to dust and make a meal. You shouldn't have to go lay down for the rest of the day and not be able to do anything. That would indicate that your exercises are too hard. And then another is if you can't even do 5 repetitions of an exercise. Now, there's a little bit of a caveat to this because as you progress through your exercise routine and you don't have pain anymore, you may do an exercise that's challenging enough that you only do about 5 repetitions. I said it yesterday. I don't care how many exercises you do, how many repetitions you do. You need to make your muscles tired. But if the exercise is so hard that it's tiring, that's limiting you from the 5 repetitions, it's that you're really struggling to get those done, that is probably too hard for you. Okay, so those are reasons to look for to tell you that the exercises you're doing are too hard. And remember, you have to try it. I can't tell you, yes, this is definitely going to hurt. I can give my best educated guess. Okay, now let's talk about exercises that are too easy. Your knee might still hurt because your exercises are too easy. Yes, you don't want the exercise to hurt, so you may not have too much weight on the exercise, but you need it to be challenging enough to make an effect. If your knee problem is caused by weakness, whether it be quad weakness, glute weakness, hamstring weakness, core weakness, ankle weakness, calf weakness, you name it, if it's caused by weakness and you're doing exercises to strengthen it, well, if you never make those muscles tired, you're not reaching the threshold to actually make a change. And so then you're never going to get rid of the knee pain, because if the knee pain is caused by a weakness, a lack of strength, you need to build up that strength in order to make that pain go away. So what do I mean by that? Let's talk about a hip weakness. Many people who have knee problems have hip weakness. A lot of people in general have hip weakness. We strengthen in the direction we go. That's how strengthening works. You want to be able to pick something up and lift something heavy. Well, you need to work on your biceps muscles to curl that, whatever it is, in. In regard to our hips and our legs and our core, we strengthen in the direction we go. We walk forward all of the time. 95% of the time, we're walking or we're running forward. When was the last time you moved backward or sideways? If you don't do the thing, you're not going to strengthen for the thing. So instances where you're walking sideways, if you're going to the movie theater, right? You're shuffling down that movie theater aisle and you're probably walking sideways. When do we walk backward? Next to never. Maybe if you're opening up a door and you have to back up to let the whole door open without you getting hit by it, right? And so then we're going to have some glute weakness because we don't walk sideways and we don't walk backward enough. So then we're putting all of the pressure and all of the strength training on the front of the hips and the quads. The hamstrings aren't getting it, the glutes aren't getting it. So in order to strengthen for the front of the leg problem, so you have pain in the front of the leg, strengthen the back, strengthen the glutes, strengthen the hamstrings. Walk sideways, walk backward. And then going off of that hip problem, often what happens is you have a hip weakness, so then your knees dive together and you get a knock-kneed position. Our knees bend and straighten. They stay in what's called the sagittal plane. They bend and they straighten. They go forward and they go backward. So if our knees are diving in and our knees don't actually move in the in or out motion, it's not a knee problem that's causing our knee problem, right? It's not a knee problem causing our knee pain. We need to look further up. Our hips pre-position where our knees are in space. Our hips are going to tell our knees where to be in space. If our hips are nice and strong, our knees are going to line up in the appropriate angle underneath our hips. It's not directly underneath our hips. It's slightly in. That's normal anatomy. But if the outside of our hips are weak, that long thigh bone is going to dive. And then you're going to have knock-kneed position. So we need to strengthen our hips. So maybe you have some inside knee problem where the knees knock together and then they rub each other, or it stretches the ligament on the inside portion of the knee. Well, that's not a knee problem. Strengthening your quads and strengthening your hamstrings really aren't going to do much for that. You need to strengthen your hips. And I actually kind of went on a tangent and I started talking about one of the other things that I was going to talk later this week. So you'll hear that again. But let's get back to what we were talking about today. Exercises that are too hard, exercises that are too easy. See guys, I could just talk about this all day. I could talk about it all day and then I just veer off and you need to rein me back in. So exercises that are too easy. What would tell me that my exercises are too easy? If it's not enough weight, if you could do these exercises all day long. You could do 50, 100, 200, 2,000 repetitions. It's too easy. You should cap out at a certain number. Your muscles should get tired. Another indicator that your exercises are too easy, your heart rate doesn't change. Your heart rate does not increase. Your heart rate should increase if your exercises are challenging enough. If they just stay at what your resting heart rate is, then your body thinks you're resting. It thinks you're not doing anything. Your heart rate increases to accommodate for a load that it's taking on. So if your exercises are challenging enough, it tells your heart you need more blood supply quicker, so pump out faster. So your heart rate needs to increase at least a little bit. I usually recommend at least 20%. If you're warming up enough, your heart rate increases by 20%. So if your resting heart rate's 60, it should go up by 20%, okay, which would be about 12 beats. So it should go up to 70 to 75 beats per minute if you're exercising. You want it to go higher, even higher than that, but you want it to at least go up. If it dips, that's no good either. That's a whole other story. I've already gone on a tangent today, so I don't need to keep going. Okay, another indicator that your exercises are too easy. Well, you're not holding the stretch long enough. A stretch needs to be held for at least 60 seconds to be effective. If you're holding it just a second or two because you don't know any better, well, it's still too easy and it's not going to affect a change. I will say with easy exercises, when everything hurts, you do need to do very, very, very easy exercises. In that case, the whole goal of the exercise is completely different. The whole goal of the exercise is to calm down a hot, swollen, inflamed joint. So let's give an example of somebody who's just had a meniscus surgery or a knee replacement. The day of and the day after surgery, Your knee is red hot and swollen because they cut into you. You want to do really easy exercises just to keep the motion going, keep the circulation going in there, and have the knee not stiffen up. So those would be indications that you want to do really, really, really easy exercises. However, your body is going to think that they're really, really hard exercises. Your heart rate's going to increase. You're not going to be able to do it all day. So although pre-surgery, it was a crazy easy exercise, pre-injury, it would be a crazy easy exercise. When your body is fighting an injury, healing from an injury, healing from a surgery, you do need something crazy, crazy easy. So when I talk about exercises being too easy and not getting rid of your pain, well, that's for not a new injury, not a new surgery. Okay. So guys, that is everything for today. That is why your exercises aren't helping with your pain. Exercises that are too hard, exercises that are too easy. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you guys soon.